Hello everybody, this is Sierra from Sierra T Designs, and I have a new card for you guys. I hope you'll enjoy, and let's jump right into the making. So today I have a Slimline card for you. This is going to be a Copic colored Slimline card, and I have this beautiful image from Clair Designs that's called Make a Wish. It's a Make a Wish digital stamp set. And I'm just going to show you here that I'm pre-folding my card base. This is a 100-pound cardstock. And I've already printed out my digital images on some Neenah solar white cardstock at 80 pound because that's a Copic friendly cardstock. And so now I'm going to walk you through all of the colors that I'm going to use in my Copic markers, and there are quite a few. You wouldn't need this many, I promise. I just went a little bit crazy because I could, but use what you have. This card would look beautiful without using as many Copic colors as I'm going to use. It would be stunning with even just if you did it grayscale or, simpler colors. So don't be intimidated by the amount of colors that I'm going to use. Just make it your own and however many colors you like to use. So for the reds, which is what I'm doing right now, I have R39, R37, R35, R32, and R30. And I'm going to do a blend throughout the first four presents. So I knew how many color families I wanted to use because I'm doing rainbow. And then I counted the presents and decided how many presents of each color family I was going to do to make this kind of work across the card. So I did 4 red presents because that's how it kind of worked out. It kind of worked out to be 3 with 2 gifts left for each color family. And then I'm just going to jump through all of the color families. This is quite sped up. This is sped up to about 5 times faster than I actually color, just because I didn't really think you guys would want to sit here for 40 minutes or an hour of me coloring, so it's quite sped up. This is not naturally how fast I color. I wish. That'd be great. So when I do Copic coloring, I use the lightest color, and then I do the next color, like the mid color, the mid tone, and then the darkest color. And then I work lightest to darkest, and then back through lightest to darkest, and darkest to lightest. So you do what works for you. I've seen it done in many ways, and they all turn out beautifully. That's just how I like to do it. So for my oranges, I'm going to use YR09, YR16, YR04, and YR12. And I did one base color on each gift and then brought in the other colors. So I'm not actually doing a blend of all of the colors on each gift, just a base color on one and then maybe a different color for the ribbon and a different color again for the tag or the bow or whatever other accessories are on the gifts. So I'm not actually blending, say, 5 colors on each gift, just using the colors to kind of go through each gift and do a little bit different coloring, but it's still kind of in a rainbow pattern because it's going to be red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet, and then I go back into a pink because it worked out that I could use pink as well. So that's just what I'm going to do there. And then I'm going to jump into my yellow presents, which I used Y17, Y13, and Y11. Sorry, I had to check my notes there. I have a lot of colors going on here, so I don't remember them all. And I do try to put the caps down so that you can see them, but I do sometimes forget, and sometimes I hold it, so then you can't really see what color I'm using. And then for my greens, which I'm into now, we have YG17, YG13, and YG00. And as I said, I do kind of blend where there would be a shadow behind each present. So I did kind of try to create, like if one of the presents was sitting in front of one of the other presents, that it would create a shadow on the present behind it. So I did try to create some shadowing behind each gift that was in front of another with the darker color of the multiple colors that I'm using. But I didn't really concern myself with a light source or anything like that, just because I was just more so going for rainbow coloring than a specific light source or a specific kind of shading. So, I mean, you could do this all in flat color and it would look stunning. I mean, it's the rainbow. The rainbow's gorgeous. So, however you wanted to color it, I think it would look stunning. I think this digital stamp is just stunning for a Slimline card. I think it works so well for that. So when I saw it, that was the first thing that I thought of. So for my blues, I'm going to use BG15, B18, and B14. I did want a little bit of a greener blue in there as well, just to kind of go with the fact that we were jumping from greens to blues. My color choices are a bit, like here I'm using a blue violet as well as some violets, just to kind of blend with the family so that it wasn't all one kind of stark color. It was a mix of a few colors in there. So for my violets, I'm going to use Blue Violet 04, so BV04, VO9, VO6, and VO5. And then I'm going to just color them across the card. And I kind of, in the end, I ended up doing the darkest shade in the front gift because then I didn't have to try to shade it. So you can kind of see that now what my darker color seems to be kind of migrating to the front of the gifts because I didn't have to worry about trying to shade those ones as they wouldn't be casting a shadow on anything. They would be casting a shadow on the present behind them that was colored in a lighter color. So I was pretty safe there. So I kind of got a little sneakier here in the end. And you can see there that I did do 4 gifts in the violet families as well. And then we're on to our pinks. So with our pinks, I used RV19, RV17, RV13, and RV02. And I kind of work between them. And you can see here that I actually have sketch markers. I have original markers. I mean, use whatever you have. You don't have to go and buy new supplies. Use what you've got sitting around. I just happen to be collecting Copics, so I'm getting a fair collection going on now, actually. And I did intentionally buy rainbow colors because I love bright colors so much. If you've been with me at all, you know that I love bright colors. They're just so stunning. So I have a tendency to purchase all of the bright colors, even though I should buy some different ones. I need some grays, probably. I have a couple, but I tend to lean towards the brighter colors rather than the more neutral or duller colors. So then my collection's a huge amount of those colors and nothing else. But I'm okay with it. I mean, you know, purchase what you're going to use. That's kind of the best idea for it. So I did miss one bow, had to go back and color it. And then now I kind of wanted to create a glow around the gifts. And you'll have to let me know if I managed it. I really do wish I had owned a lighter yellow for this. But sadly, the lightest yellow that I own is the Y00. So I didn't have a color that was lighter than the ones that I'm going to use here. So I kind of did the darkest yellow at the bottom there, which is a Y02. And then I'm going to blend it out with a Y00 to kind of create the glow above the presents. And I started kind of small to start with, and then it kind of just kept getting bigger from there. Just because I kind of, like, if you think about it, like, if you had a pile of presents sitting there, like, I just wanted kind of this, like, big glow coming from them. And I kept making it bigger because it didn't quite feel like I was getting quite the feeling that I wanted. And then I am going to use the, like the 0, which is your colorless blender, and kind of try to soften the edge of the Y00. But I don't know. I had to, see, I went back again because I didn't feel like it was quite big enough for what I was going for. I don't know, maybe I should have just colored the whole thing in, but I didn't, so that's okay. And then I wanted some detailing on the gifts. I thought that they were just a little bit plain with their colors. I mean, they're beautiful. It's a rainbow. But I wanted a little bit of pizzazz. So I took a Jelly Roll pen in the size 10, and then I kind of just doodled random things on the gifts. I think we have one with dots, and we have one with squiggles, and there's one with lines, and I think there's one with X's, and I think there's one with hearts, and just random doodles. Like, they're no rhyme or reason. It made me happy, so I did it. And I did an odd number of them, just because that's what I do. I always do odd numbers of embellishments, because I think that it looks nicer to the eye. So I kind of just randomly picked whatever present I wanted to draw on and went and drew a random pattern on it. And I think it kind of adds a little bit extra to the card, too, because it adds a little bit of texture and a little bit of something different in the cards. So it's not just solid, because there's not very much shading, so there's not much to kind of break up the solid color. So I thought this kind of just looked neat, and so that's what I went for. And I kind of just doodled whatever I wanted to, wherever I wanted to do it. So no real rhyme or reason, just me adding random squiggles or dashes or something to each card. Or not each one, sorry. I only did 9, but yeah, so I thought that was pretty neat. I think it's kind of cool to just add your own flair to something. Like, this is a beautiful image, digital stamp, and I just wanted to add a little extra to the gifts. And because they're open, that gives you the chance to do that, right? Like, it's completely up to you what you want to add. And then I'm going to use my Nuvo Deluxe glue just to glue this down. I always use a black mat on my cards. I just love how it makes the colors pop. That's just something I like to do. It just adds a little bit of extra flair to your card. I don't know, flair is probably the wrong word, but it's so pretty to add that little bit of black around a card, and that kind of just frames the thing, and it feels to me like it's almost finishing the project, and I just really like how it looks. So then I'm going to put some Nuvo glue on the back of my panel, and I'm going to glue that down to my card base, which is 3.5 by 8.5, which is the kind of what I make my slimline cards. That's just the size that I tend to go with. And then here I brought in my Wink of Stella in gold, and it did leak out a little bit on that first bow. That's okay, I'm going to fix it, so I'm not really concerned about it. So I just put it on all of the bows and the ribbons and all of kind of the accessories to the gifts. It's pretty hard to see on camera what it looks like, but in person it's quite shiny, so it looks quite pretty. And I love bling. I like to add it to all the cards, so you know, it's just, I don't know what it is. I just love sparkle. And this card kind of encompasses a whole bunch of that. You know, I've got the rainbow, and I've got the sparkle, and I've got the glitter, and I've got all the presents, and I've got a little bit of glow. I don't know, it just kind of was so much fun to make this card. Oh, and there's one of my kittens. Try not to let her step in the little puddle of ink that I had there. And then here I'm going to hold it up for you so you can see what it looks like. Hopefully you can catch some of that glitter in there, and you can see just how pretty it is. But yeah, this is a beautiful project. I had so much fun working with this stamp, and I hope you guys will check it out. I do have this stamp linked below, and you can go and give it a gander. Thank you so much, guys, and I hope if you liked it, you'll subscribe and leave a comment and give us a like. Thank you so much, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.